Hi everyone, welcome you all. In our previous video, we have seen how we can automate SQL stored procedures. So now basically stored procedures will take input parameters and also output parameters. Now in the today's video, I'm going to show you how we can automate stored procedures if they are taking output parameters. Okay, how we can pass input parameters and how we can get the results into output parameters. So how we can automate those type of stored procedures. So that we will see in the today's session. So let's go and open the test cases document. And here we already seen how we can automate these 4 test cases in my previous video. And if you are not watched that video, please watch it first and then come to this video. Now let's continue with the test case 5. So this particular store procedure get order by customer, and this particular store procedure will take input parameter, which is a customer ID. And once you pass the customer ID into the store procedure, let's say 141 is an input ID or input parameter. When you pass this customer ID as a parameter, as an input parameter, and which will return the status, like how many products are shipped, how many products are cancelled by the customer, and how many products are resolved, and how many are disputed found in this particular customer ID. So that information will be stored in these output variables. And then we will write one more select command to display the output from these variables. Okay. So let's see how we can automate this. And before that, let me just connect to MySQL Workbench. All right, so this is actual store procedure call. So first we need to call the store procedures, and as soon as you call the store procedure, actual data will be stored in these variables. And again, we will write one more statement here, and this particular statement will exactly display the data, right? But how we can write the test query? So this is a test query which we have written to test this store procedure. So whatever the store procedure we're calling here internally, which will execute this command. So basically it will say select count star as shipped from orders where customer number equal to 141. So whichever customer ID we are passing here or customer number we are passing, and which will count the status, like how many shipped orders are there. So which will basically count it. And similarly for the same customer number or customer ID, it will count cancelled products and resolved products and then disputed products. So as soon as we found those number of products, and finally we will store the data in the variables shipped, cancelled, resolved, and disputed. And this is a query which we have written. So this is a test query. And once you execute this query, this will also display the same result set, whichever the store procedure call happen with that store procedure call, whatever the result set we will get, which should be the same as the result set which is written by this select query, which is basically test query. So here the thing is, this particular store procedure will take the input parameter and also output parameters. So now let me show you practically how we can execute this and test query also, and we will check the results are same or not. So this is my SQL Workbench. I'm connecting the database. And once you connect it to the database, let us try to execute this store procedure call first. Okay, first of all, let me use the database, use classic models. All right, so classic models. Okay, so let me just execute this. Now it is connected to classic models. Now I'm doing the store procedure call. So 141 is a customer ID, which is an input parameter, and these 4 are the output parameters. Now when I execute this, so now store procedure is executed, but it is not returning anything for us, but the output will be stored in these variables. But how we can get the data from these variables? We need to execute one more select query. So select @shipped, @cancel, @resolved, @dispute. I'm just printing the values from these output variables. Now immediately I'm executing the statement, and then which will given this results: 22 are shipped, 0 cancelled, 1 resolved, disputed 1. So this is an actual output which is written by the store procedures in the output variables. Now inside the store procedures, we need to prepare a test query. And what exactly this is doing, the store procedure is doing, which is basically taking the customer ID, and accordingly it is finding out how many orders are shipped, cancelled, resolved, disputed with this order ID. So similar way, we need to also write our own test query. So this is our test query. Let me just copy it here and execute. So this is our test query. So if I just look at here, this is also doing the same thing with the select command. Now if I execute this will also should return the same result. So this particular statement is returning 22, 0, 1 and 1, right? So 22 were shipped, 0 cancelled, 1 result, 1 disputed. Now let me execute this select query also, right? So this will also return the same thing, 22, 0, 1 and 1. So this result set, whatever the output is returning by the stored procedure output variables, and the result set which is returning by the select statement, we need to compare. So that's a actual test, right? So now let's go and automate this test case. So for that, let me open my Eclipse, and we already created this class, test-ng class, and we already seen how we can automate the rest of the test cases. Now I'm going to add one more test method here. Okay, so the test method name is, I say void test underscore get order by customer, and I'll make this as a test annotation. And before the priority 3, 4 already given, so this is priority is 4. Okay, priority is 5. All right, so now let us try to implement this test method. So how to implement this test method? So here, if I just look at the test case, so first we need to send the stored procedure call. Okay, we need to send the stored procedure call. And after that, the output variables contains the actual data, actual result, and that we need to capture. And after that, we need to execute our test query. And also we need to capture the result set. And then we will compare this result set with the output of this particular select statement. Okay, both are exactly the same, then my test is passed. All right, so now go to your Eclipse, and now I'm going to execute my store procedures by passing input parameter. And this particular store procedure will take input and output parameters also, right? So we already created a connection. So in the setup method, we already created a connection. So let me take this connection object. And whenever you invoke the store procedure call, we will prepare a call statement, right? We prepare call. And in the double quotations and curly braces, we have to specify the store procedure call. Now, if I just go to the store procedure, so this is actual call which we need to specify here. But we should not directly specify the data like this. We should specify this data later. So we need to specify with the question marks. How many parameters? This will take 4 parameters. So I specify 5 parameters, including input parameter, which is actually 5. First one is input parameter, rest of the 4 are output parameters, right? Output parameters. So now this is a prepared call. So con dot prepare call and call get order by customer. So this will throw some exception, just add this. And whatever the call we prepared here, we can store that call in a variable called cstmt. We created a callable statement object, right? So initially, so we take that callable statement object, and that can store the result of this particular stored procedure call. Okay, so we stored it. And now once we store the statement, we need to now pass the input parameter, and also we need to set the output parameters. So to pass the input parameter, what we will do is take this object cstmt dot, this is basically integer parameter. So I'm just taking set int. Now this is a first parameter. So I say 1 index, and what's the value of the parameter? Let's say 141. So this is how we need to set the input parameter for the stored procedure call. But what about the output parameter? So we need to also register these output parameters. How to register the output parameters? So take this statement again, dot. So to register the output parameters, we need to call one method called register out parameters. Register out parameter. And in which position? From the second position, these 4 are the output parameters. So the second position, what is the output parameter? This is a type is integer. So I can say types dot integer type. This is how we need to register the output parameters. So there are 4 parameters are there. So 4 parameters we need to register like this. 4 parameters. So we need to specify the position 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is 3, 4, and 5. All right. So now 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these third position, second, third, fourth, and fifth position. These are output parameters. And the first position is the input parameter, which we already set here. And output parameters we need to register by using this method. And once you set this input and output parameter for the stored procedure call, then we need to execute this stored procedure. So how we can execute? Take this statement object dot, execute query dot execute execute query is a method, and this will actually execute your stored procedure. So once you executed your stored procedure, what happens? The returned data will be stored in these variables. That means output parameters we put here, right? So 4 output parameters. So the returned data by the stored procedure will be stored in these output parameters. So actually the stored procedure is not returning anything. So it will get the output and store them in the output variables. So now we will able to access these output variables. How to access these variables? Simply we can take the same statement object dot get int, the first method, get int. The first output parameter is an integer type. So in which position it is there? In the second position. So I said 2 here. So what this statement will do, this statement will get the value of the output parameter which is there in the second position. We already registered here. After registering the output variables, we executed the statement. And after execution of the statement, we will get the output in those variables. Then we will extract the value from those variables by using a method statement, C statement, callable statement dot get int of 2. So this will return the value. So what is the value which will return? The second parameter is a shipped, right? I'll create one integer variable called shipped. I'll create one integer variable called shipped. And similarly, we will also create 3 more variables because 4 output parameters: first position, third position, second, third, fourth, and fifth position. And first one is a shipper status, second one is a cancel status, and the third thing is a resolved status, and then disputed. This is a resolved and this is a disputed. All right, so like this we have to call the stored procedures by passing input parameter and output parameters. So first we need to set the input parameter by using this setInt method. Then we need to register the output parameters by using register output parameters based on the position. And once you executed your stored procedure with this execute query method, then again we will get the data from these output parameters into these variables. All right. So now let me just print them. So let's see what is the output we will get from the stored procedure, because later we will compare that output with the test query output. So let me just print for now. I say system.out.println, and here I will just specify those variables and we'll see what exactly it is printing. Okay, still we have not completed, just we have sent the store procedure call along with input parameters and output parameters, and we capture the data from the output parameters and then we are printing it here. Okay, so before that, let me just comment other test cases. I just want to execute only this particular test for now. Okay, so now this is the test case which we have written. Now let me execute this. Right click, run as test-ng test. All right, so now you can just look at this. We got this output 22, 0, 1, and 1. So when you execute this stored procedure in the client also, we got the same results here, right? So if I execute this also, we got the same results 22, 0, 1, and 1. So with this, what we have achieved is we have done stored procedure call by passing input parameter and passing output parameters. And once the execution is completed, we got the data into output parameters, and then we successfully printed the data from the output parameters. Okay, so this is not our purpose actually. So we need to compare this data with the output from test query. All right, so let me just comment this statement. Now let me execute the test query. So to execute the test query, what we need to create a statement object. So statement stmt equal to and con dot create a statement. Sorry, con dot create a statement. And now by using this statement object, we will able to execute our query, right? stmt dot execute query, execute query, sorry, dot execute query, and here we need to specify the test query. So let me go back here, and this is our test query. So we need to carefully copy the entire test query and keep it in the double quotations. Go back, And now in the double quotation, I'm just pasting the whole query here. So this is my test query, then semicolon. So the whole test query I put inside this execute method. And after execution of the test query, what this will return? This will return the result set, right? Result set it will return. So result set variable, which is already created here as a global variable, just I'm storing this result set in the RS. Fine. So now we have the output in the output variables, which are written by stored procedure. And now we also have a result set, which is written by our test query. So now we need to compare the data from these output variables are exactly equal to these result set data or not. That we need to compare. So to compare this, first we need to focus on one row. So basically this particular statement will return only one row. Even the result set also will basically return only one row. So I'm just going to focus on the first row from the RS. For that I say RS dot next. So this next command will focus on the first record because we have only one record in the results. All right. Now we need to compare it. And before comparing it, what we need to do, first of all, as soon as we executed this statement, right? Okay, as soon as we executed this test query, and this test query also return the result set. So from the result set, we need to get the data into, again, multiple variables. Just like this, when you run your store procedure, we store the output in the output parameters and we store them into different variables. Similarly, when you execute your test statement, test query statement, it will return the data in the result set. So from the result set, we need to extract one by one, like shipped result, cancel, resolve, dispute result, and we will store them in another variables. Okay, so now I'm going to create a few steps here. So rs.getInt of shipped. So it will return the value of the first column that I am storing in expected shipped value. Now rs.getInt of cancel, this will return the cancel value from the second column I'm storing into this variable. Similarly, third column and fourth column. And these are the values which are coming from test query, the results of test query. And these are the values which are coming from stored procedure call. Okay, now we need to compare exactly these values are exactly equal to this one or not. So for that, we need to write one if condition along with the assertion. So here I'm writing one if else condition. So what I can do is if shipped equal to expected shipped, what is this shipped means? The output which is coming from stored procedure. And this is the statement, this is the variable which holds the data from the result set. Similarly, cancel we have compared, resolved compared, disputed also compared. So compare the results between the stored procedure and also test query. And if the condition is true, then I'm making my test method passed, else my test method will fail. So this is how we need to write the test method for stored procedure, which will take input and output parameters. Okay, now let me just execute this. Run as test-ng test. Okay, now it is getting passed. So my test is got passed. So that means expected and actual results are exactly the same. So the results which are sent written by the store procedure and the test query is exactly the same. All right, so this is how we need to automate the store procedure, which will take input and output parameters. Okay, so now let me show you one more store procedure. So let the last one, get customer shipping by passing input parameter customer ID. So here, this is actual store procedure, which will also take one input parameter and one output parameter. So basically what this store procedure will do is, which will take the customer ID, and based on that, it will find out the country name. If the country is belongs to, let's say US, and then shipping days or shipping period is 2 days. And if that country is belongs to, let's say Canada, the shipping time is 5 days. And other than US and Canada, the shipping time is something else. So 5-day shipping. And if the country is USA, 2-day shipping. If the country belongs to Canada, then 3-day shipping. Other than USA, Canada, 5-day shipping. Okay. So this is a store procedure which will take ID as an input, customer ID, and then it will give you how many days it will ship. So this is the actual store procedure call. So let me just execute it. Go to the SQL client, and from here, first we will see the output, what it is exactly returning. When you pass 112, first we need to execute the store procedure call by passing input parameter, and then output will be stored in the output parameter. And then I'm accessing that output parameter by using alias. So alias is just a name of the column I'm just giving. If you don't specify also, no problem. So let me execute the store procedure call first. Okay, so when I execute this, what it is giving? So it is not giving anything, but the output will be stored in this output variable. Now I just want to access it. So if you want to access only the output variable, you can access like this. You can just remove this alias. And if I just execute this, what will happen is, okay, so I'm just executing only this one. So, and you can see 2-day shipping. So because we say 112, maybe it will relate it to Canada. So it is saying 2-day shipping. Canada or US, it is related to US, I guess, and it is a 2-day shipping. But if you want to put this column properly, you can just as an alias, you can use as a shipping type. So when I execute this, now the column name is printed properly. This is a shipping type. Okay, so this is how we need to first execute the store procedure. And to get the value from the output parameter, again, we need to write one more select statement. And how we created our test query. So let me just go to the test query now. So this is our test query. So this is our test query. So queries are very important while performing the database testing. So you need to more familiar with the queries. Right. So this is a test query which is created. So when I say 112, when I pass into the store procedure, which is giving 2-day shipping. Right. So now the same 112 customer number I'm passing here. And here I'm selecting the country first. And according to the customer ID. And then if the country is equal to USA, and here it is a case statement I have used. Case when statement from SQL I have used here. So country is USA, then 2-day shipping. Country is Canada, then 3-day shipping. Country is other than US, Canada, 5-day shipping. This is our test query. So when I pass 112 as a parameter, now look at this. The output is displaying country is USA because I'm also printing the country here. Okay, country is column and 2-day shipping. Perfectly fine. So whatever the store procedure is giving, the same output is given by this command also, by this test query. So now we need to compare both the results. Now go back to your test code, and here I'm going to write one more test. And this is also exactly the same as above one, but we need to just pass only one input parameter and one output parameter. So let me just copy the same code, and then I will give another name. Test guest customer by shipping. Get customer by shipping. I say priority 6. All right. So what is the store procedure call here? The store procedure call is this one. Get customer shipping and 2 parameters. One is input parameter, one is output parameter. So I'm just changing the name of the method. Only 2 parameters. So I say only 2 question marks. And what's the first parameter? First parameter is a ID, right? So here first parameter is 1 to 1. I'm changing. And the second parameter is a output parameter. So we need to register that parameter. So remove these statements, and only one output parameter is there. In the second position is the output parameter. So second position, which is also integer parameter, integer varchar. I think this is a varchar or string type of parameter, right? Because when you execute this query, shipping time is a string format it is giving. Varchar format it is giving. So the output parameter is a varchar. It's not a integer. Types a dot varchar. Okay, so this will this is the actual statement. So csempty dot register output parameter. So we also register the output parameter. So once you register the output parameter, then input parameter we set and output parameter also we registered. Then we have executed this query. And once you executed this query, we need to capture the value from the output parameter, which is there in the second position. So here that is again varchar type, right? So instead of get int, we say csempty dot get a string, right? So get a string, and in which position? Second position. And that will exactly give you shipping time. And the type of this variable is string. All right. So now we capture the output from the stored procedure. So we are passing input parameter. Now output will be stored in the output parameter, and that I'm storing into this variable. And then what we need to do, once you get this shipped value, we need to compare this value with the test result data, right? So let me just modify this. I'll remove all these things. Okay, so now we have executed our store procedure call with one single input parameter and one output parameter. We set the input parameter here. We set the output parameter here. Once you executed your query, then in the second position, we will get the output value. So we are extracting that value into the variable. So finally, we got the value or output from the store procedure. So let's keep this statement one side. And this is your shipping time actually, right? So this is your shipping time. Shipping time, right? So after that, what we need to do, we need to execute our test query. So what is our test query? This is your test query. So this is the query which we need to execute now. All right. So now let me execute the test query. Go back and remove this old query. Okay. So this is your test query we captured here. Now, once you executed your test query, so we will get the result set here. So now we have the value from the output parameter. When you call your store procedure, we got the output from the output parameter, which we stored in the variable. And also we have run the result. We have run the test query and stored that value in the result set. So what we need to do from the result set, we need to extract the value. So how to do it? rs.next, which will point on the first row. And then from this rs, we need to extract the value rs.getString. Sorry, rs.getString, because the output is in the string format, and which column it is, and shipping time, right? rs.getString shipping time. So we just created one variable, right? So here, so second column. So that we need to specify. So getString, and here the column name is shipping time. So when you execute your select query, what is happening here? The column name is shipping time. So this column value we need. I don't need country. I need only shipping time value. So here I specify the column name, shipping time. Right, shipping time. So now this value also I'm going to store in another variable. I'll take one string parameter, expected shipping time. This is our expected shipping time. So here, this is the actual shipping time, which is written by your store procedure. And here, expected shipping time, which is written by your test query. So now we need to compare the shipping time here and here. These both we need to compare, equal or not. So for that, we can directly write an assertion. Asset equals, and here actual is a shipping time here, comma, expected shipping time. So this is our assertion we can write like this. So this particular store procedure is taking one input parameter and one output parameter. We set input parameter is 1 to 1, and output parameter we registered from the second position. So second position question mark is representing the output parameter. So I say second one is the output parameter. And then we executed the statement. And after execution, we get the value from this output parameter and then store in another variable. So this is the one value we need to compare. And after that, we executed our test query and focus on the first row in the result set and get the value from the shipping time column. And then we store in this variable. And then finally, we compare this value shipping time with our expected shipping time. And if both are equal, then my test is passed. Both are not equal, my test is failed. Now let us execute this test case. Run as test-ng test. All right, so now it is getting failed. So now we'll see why it is getting failed. Parameter number 2 is not an out parameter, not an out parameter. So that means we are not properly registered output parameter. So let us cross check here. So this is a first parameter. Cint112 is an input parameter. Okay, this is perfectly fine. And get the customer shipping, right? We have not used call statement actually here. So parameters are correct, but we haven't used this call statement. That should be there. All right, so now execute. Run as test-ng test. All right, so again, it is getting failed. So now we can just look at expected is 2-day shipping, but found 5-day shipping. So expected is a 2-day shipping, found 5-day shipping. So why it is different? Because here we pass 1 to 1 customer ID for this, and this statement is returning 2-day shipping. And in the condition in the test query, what is the ID we used here? In ID also we used 112, right? 2-day shipping, 5-day shipping is shown. So let me just execute one more time through this client and check. So I'm just passing 112 and we'll see what is the output which is returning. So 2-day shipping. So for 112 record, 2-day shipping is returning perfectly fine. And here also we are passing 112. So let me just execute. So this will also giving 2-day shipping. This is also perfectly fine, but somehow it is giving 5-day shipping. So let us cross check once again why it is giving that one. Okay. Check actually here we have passed 1 to 1. Okay, and in the test query we are checking 112. So this is the actual, that's the reason both are not equal. So here we need to pass the same ID. So here we pass 112, right? So in the test query, so in the store procedure also, let us call 112. All right. So now execute. All right. So now it is getting passed. So the results which are written by stored procedure is exactly the same as the test query results. So then my test is got passed. All right, so this is how we can just automate the stored procedure. So sometimes stored procedure may not take any parameters, and sometimes your stored procedure will take 1 or 2 parameters, input parameters. And sometimes your stored procedure will take input parameters along with output parameters. So in any case, we should be able to automate those stored procedures. Okay, so here the main important thing is we need to create our test queries. So this is actually main important thing which we need to focus on along with the test data. So test data is also important. Along with that, test query is also most important while performing the database testing. So you need to be more familiar with the writing SQL queries or SQL statements. All right. So this is how we can do the stored procedure testing, manual testing as well as automation testing. All right, so that's all for this video, guys. In the next video, we will see one more concept. Thanks for watching.